to the #1 team in the country.
Alabama's excited for Karis to start them off. She learned this 1.5 this summer. Too much juice, but it's still what I would consider early in the season, and that's technically a good mistake, having too much momentum, taking a step in what we call the right direction.
So they got one vault on there for your screen. All the gymnasts competing on that said event are listed. As they go and get scores, they will be populated into that scoring tower. Lily Peterson, one of the all-arounders, one of the 5 all-arounders competing for Oklahoma tonight, starts off things on bars.
They looked sharp during warm-up, and I'm excited to watch this freshman in particular. This meet, she is just producing strong numbers straight out of the gate. And every handstand is shapes in the air, controlled landing. And that was the opposite of Karis, where it was a step in the wrong direction, meaning she didn't have enough momentum, enough rotation to take a step forward, and unfortunately had to get a deduction for taking a step backwards.
Maybe trying to get that stuck landing.
Yeah.
Did she see her teammate overdo it and think, gosh, I really need to stick this?
Yeah, sometimes that happens when there's a little bit too much pressure or emphasis on the stick.
So Lily,
that's not even competing here today, and I think she had a couple 10-0 routines that I saw that aren't in the lineup.
There's KJ Kindler, 19th season as the head of the Sooner team, and that look of unhappiness on her face, it's because the judges are having a meeting to discuss that Lily Peterson score, which, as a coach, generally, you don't love to see a judges conference, especially when it was a hit routine.
Yeah, there's a couple things at play here. One is you don't like a lot of thought about the routine, but more importantly, but this is good experience for this freshman early on to get thrown into maybe some more challenging situations earlier in the season. Big release move. Judges are looking for form throughout, squeezing those legs throughout this routine. She's doing a nice job of that. Good handstand position. That's
nice handstand positions.
Back salto, the distance away from the bar, right back up. Saved it just a little on top, making sure judges saw the vertical position. And a small scoot. I think we used to say that would be a college stick, but not anymore. There's a bigger emphasis on those landings now.
Probably a half-tenth scoot.
He's doing here. Leg separation in that pack salto. Working up, pushing through, had to redo that. Sets it up for a dismount, pipes down the dismount, but gets the stick. So some form issues on the second half of that routine, but I'm
putting on.
And it's like this every single turn she takes.
That was as good as I've seen her do, Sam.
I think so too.
And I'll tell you, the scores for Oklahoma, a little lower than I thought they would ever see. Shania Adams, the senior, next for Alabama.
Clean Yurchenko fold. That's starting from a 9.95. Just a small hop back, but very few forms.
Trailing, but they only have 5 scores. When Jordan Bauer's score comes up, Elle Mueller's score will be dropped. So the difference between those 2 scores will be how much Oklahoma's team score will go up. It's kind of how the math works if you want to try to follow that at home. 9.95 for Jordan Bauer from those routines.
I think they would agree with you, John, and there definitely seemed to be a little bit of confusion early on, like we saw that judges conference. There was confusion about
trailing, but they only have 5 scores. When Jordan Bauer's score comes up, Elle Mueller's score will be dropped. So the difference between those 2 scores will be how much Oklahoma's team score will go up. It's kind of how the math works if you want to try to follow that at home. 9.95 for Jordan Bauer from those routines.
I think they would agree with you, John, and there definitely seemed to be a little bit of confusion early on, like we saw that judges conference. There was confusion about
strong, straight up to that handstand. a really good routine so far. That's how you want Alabama to get things going on their second event with the stuck landing. Nicely done.
They said there was an ease about her. That leadoff spot, so important in women's gymnastics to get things rolling. I'll tell you what, Chloe absolutely crushed it right there.
Momentum here in this bar lineup too.
A 9.85 in the leadoff spot for LaCourcier. That is a nice first gymnast score to have.
Look at that. Really far away from the bar. It's nice to be stretched, but you don't want to give yourself and everyone else around you a little scare, which I think she probably did with her team.
Faith Torres, a 9.9. Actually talked about Gabby and Lily coming into the season and how they weren't just happy with the status quo. They came in and they wanted to continue to get better, even as upperclassmen, and certainly something you got to be happy if you're Coach Johnston, for sure. Don't want to coast through those final years. Kira Wells will be the fourth gymnast to go. 9.825 for Addison Feta.
Her form is so...
For that bar rotation. So happy to see her out there. Small mistake, but we'll see what the judges do with it. Jordan Bowers now follows Kira Wells' 9.775. So the judges got her on that step, most certainly.
Last week scored a 9.825. She's certainly capable of better. Her chest was in the right position, but she took a step back. So that's going to be a slight deduction.
The judges are taking their time, so she might as well take her time.
Yeah.
Return the favor.
She was going to do exactly what we were talking about before, the routine before the routine. So if it takes too long for the judges, you just got to erase what you just did and start that whole process over. Go back to the chalk bucket. Sometimes your chalk gets a little dry, so you, just like she's doing right now, put in some more water on it, re-chalking up, get some fresh chalk on those grips, and then she's going to step back and try it again.
Yeah, it's a science.
But it seems like this year she has a different level of competition excellence. Yurchenko, 1.5. Very nicely done when she landed. It's so...
Anchor spot, a freshman in the anchor spot.
Yeah, she had some mistakes last week on this release move coming up. Huge pack salto to get things going. She's got talking to herself throughout this routine. That really helps in loud environments, big crowds, eliminates distraction, and helps you deliver a dismount like that.
She was money on bars, and she's absolutely money here in the leadoff spot for the Crimson Tide. Trying to chase down the #1 team in the country. 3.5 tenths behind right now. Here is your all-around battle.
Something you're going to notice from this Oklahoma team is that there's so many different varieties of styles of music throughout their roster in the lineup today. And again, an athlete like Audrey Davis to lead you off on floor, you couldn't ask for anything.
She's also the #3 all-arounder in the country. Obviously early in the season, but something to keep an eye on as those scores populate.
Opens for a handspring, double full to a stag jump.
Yeah, just need them to be consistent, and you want the right team to win.
Looks like she's taking her time between each skill into her dance. That shows me that she's a little nervous. Back handspring layout, some bent knees throughout that back handspring in the layout. Clean twisting, that's been an area of focus in the gym because most of their lineup has twisting elements in their routines. I think she's happy with that.
And she should be. Elle Mueller, a 9.875. You called it, Sam, a little bit higher than she got last week. Now here's freshman Lily Peterson, number 5 in the country in the all-around. And here we are back on balance beam with Shania Adams following Lily Hudson's 9.85.
And Shania's one of the Alabama gymnasts that can put up a really big number. She has high scoring potential. Front aerial. I think she was supposed to connect that. Doing a back handspring. Open spread handspring, double full to a punch front. No one does that pass better than Jordan Bowers. I love the intensity of this routine from start to finish. It's so mesmerizing. Absorb the beam when you land. Round up, double full. Doesn't give anything away on the landing there.
What a beam rotation for Alabama after last week when they had so many mistakes on
Steps on that landing either. She scored a 9.975 last weekend as well, following Jordan Bowers' 9.9.
It's an event they are incredible on, but it's still beam, Sam. Anything can happen. Pressure on here at the end of the meet for them.
Yeah, when we talked to... And a stuck round off, double full. They're moving in the right direction again.
That all important. Now on the floor exercise. Getting in the lineup here this weekend.
Yeah, she's had a slow comeback. Surgery late this fall on the hamstring leg area, so really unideal because it took a long time for her to get back. She had a tough 6 months, requested a meeting and said, I want to be out there. What's it got to take? And here she is.
Kira Wells, the second gymnast to go, and I'll tell you what, if Alabama's going to mount a comeback, performances like Audrey Davis's 9.9 might have a lot to say about that. Incredible start.
An excellent event for Oklahoma. It was interesting to hear KJ say that the team is still... Great finish to that routine. Just a lot of power. Sometimes if you're lacking energy, her eyes glued to that end of the beam. This was a strong set. You can see a smile on her face. Big comeback. I think head coach KJ is going to be really pleased.
So Rabicki from Alabama, a 9.575 with that big out of bounds. So 4 gymnasts yet to go for Alabama. They've all got to be lights out, and they might need some help from Oklahoma. And when I say help, That means some mistakes from
Or fatigue.
Chloe LaCourcier, one of those athletes that they talked about, that fatigue and that sickness taking a toll. Jordan Bowers now follows Addison Fada's 9.9 to 9.95 for this beam routine for Jordan. Will give her at least a share of the all-around title.
Yeah, 9.9 for Addison's routine. Well deserved.
Jordan Bowers currently the 17th ranked gymnast. Take to the floor exercise tied her career high with a 9.925 on this event in the opener.
A 1/10 deduction for stepping what they call in the wrong direction, which is forward for a double pike.
But Sam, you even mentioned it this week. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself on beam is be on the beam, and it's something KJ Kindler does with her choreography.
Yeah, I'm so happy you mentioned that, because when we talked to KJ Kindler, she said we don't do that many inner squats, which I was surprised by. She said, I really want them to get comfortable on the beam. I like 15 minutes where they just don't get off the equipment. And I love beam myself, and the difficult part about having a fall on floor is that you can't stop and regroup. You just have to keep going. And she's going to pick it back up and try again here with this next pass.
They kept it close. They feel like are going to look a lot different the end of February into March than they do now. Alabama, case in point. Here is Gabby Gladio. She will finish things off for Alabama in tonight's competition. She is the number 5 ranked gymnast currently in the country on this event.
And Alabama needs a big score here.